Hey everyone, Livy here, back with another video. It's been actually a little while for me. You guys won't notice the difference, but those who are subscribed to me might, because I mentioned that I was sick a little bit ago, and I'm still kind of getting over it, to be honest. I have like weird throat things, but anyways, not gonna get into that. Today, I want to talk about something that happens. It happens, okay? What I'm going to talk about happens sometimes, even if we don't want it to be so in tarot. Sometimes we buy decks that end up being disappointing for various reasons, but that was one of the things when I was sick and I couldn't film anything because literally I could not talk at all. Like, I lost my whole voice. Two decks did come into my collection during that time, but I couldn't talk about them. I couldn't talk about them. But it was probably for the best, because as you're going to see, these decks are very, very, very disappointing, and I don't know. One of them I want to for sure get rid of. The others, I'm debating what the hell I'm going to do. So around this time where I was getting sick, I purchased this deck, okay, the Harmonious Tarot, and you could probably tell from the packaging why I decided to purchase this, because this is Los Scarabeo Mini, which normally they're very good. I mean, well, I don't know normally. I guess I can't say normally. I have the Nicoletta Ciccoli Mini, and that one is really good. Okay, and like the cardstock feels good. It's a good size for a mini. Everything checks out. So I pretty much ordered this deck sight unseen, which I don't normally do, so that should have been my red flag anyways. I bought the sight unseen because I saw this. Look at the box. Look at this aesthetic. It looks really cool. Vintagey, which is things that I like. But as I got into this deck, I realized really quickly that I had made a mistake, and there's probably a reason why I don't even really see people talk about this deck, because, oh man, let's get into it. It's bad. It's bad. These are the backs. I can tell you from a texture standpoint, because I'm like that, this cardstock feels a little different than the Nicoletta Ciccoli Mini. That should have been also a red flag. This is like cheaper, not great quality, is because the back feels normal, like the other one. But then this side, one of the sides feels like really weird. Anyways, I was flipping through this deck on my own, and there's a couple things that became red flags kind of for me. So at first I'm like, oh, this is pretty. Look at this. This is nice, right? It's like flower child aesthetic. This should be good. This will be a space in my collection, you know, that's not currently being taken by a deck. This is like an interesting aesthetic. But then you can probably tell as I'm flipping through this, right, is that all of the people in this deck are white, except for what you're going to see soon, which is the big red flag. And I was like, uh-oh, oh no, oh no. And it made me basically go, nope, this is done. I have to get rid of this deck. And sorry, my throat is, like I said, my throat's disgusting, so sometimes I have to like clear it, and it's a mess. I hate being sick, guys. I hate it. Illness, go away. Oh, here it is. Here was the first card that I was like, I wonder what this is trying to tell me. Something about this face. I was like, this is a weird card to have in this deck when everything else was, you know, more normal. I don't know what the implication is with this face. So I was like, okay, this is kind of weird. Like, yeah, a lot of tarot decks can be very white, but maybe it's just, I don't know, maybe it's just like one weird card in the deck. No, it was not just one weird card, guys. See, as you can see, figure is still white. So I was going through the deck and I was like, okay, I guess this is slightly underwhelming. Like, why couldn't there be people of color in this deck with this aesthetic? That would have been really cool. I guess that's why, what deck is that? Ethereal Visions originally got flack before they came out with their Luna edition, because it was the same shit, right? It's like a kind of almost Art Nouveau style. But they, the deck was originally all white. So at first you're thinking, okay, well, it's very white and boring, but like, where's the red flag? And it didn't come until pretty much, you know, I was flipping through the deck like this. I was like, okay, I guess this is slightly underwhelming. I don't know if this will be like a deck I always go to, blah, 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 right? But then there's two cards. There's two cards in this deck that are, I'm going to be honest. There's two cards that are coming up that are very racist. You can try to avoid saying that all you want, but, they are. And here's the first one. Okay, in a deck that's mostly white people, why all of a sudden, you know, this Athena figure, why all of a sudden do we have someone in typical Native American, you know, looks typical Native or indigenous person next to this Athena person, Nine of Pentacles? What is this supposed to be showing exactly? So this kind of was like, this is sus, especially when this whole deck is white, right? That was another card that made me go, something is weird about the energy of this deck, okay? And then the other one is going to pop up soon because here it is. Here's the other one where I knew, this deck is a trash fire and I need to get rid of it. I don't think I need to say what's wrong with this, although I'll point to them. This is god-awful. So, yeah, as soon as I saw this card, I was like, this deck is gone. This is bye-bye. This is garbage. This is not... And I can't believe, in this day and age, Los Scarabeo still publishes this shit? You know what I mean? Like, why would you include... Oh man, why would you include it? Why? Why is it there? What purpose is it serving? You know? How is this helpful? I really don't know what to do with this deck because it is a racist flaming garbage pile. I don't know if I should just chuck it into the bottom of the sea, but see, then that's not recycling. But then it's like, I don't know what to do because who the hell would really want to own this? So yeah. Not my cup of tea. And I was pretty pissed off when that came in. But then something else made it so much worse. My feelings of like, great. I feel like I wasted, what is it? Almost $14 basically on that deck. Oh, that doesn't even top. Well, no, racism is pretty bad. So yeah, that's pretty much bad. But then I got these in the mail. And even though I couldn't talk, I was in full-on rage mode. And I'm going to explain why, because you're probably thinking, what? What is this? And why would this disappoint you? Okay, first off, this cute little envelope is probably the best thing about all this. Okay, this I might keep. These I don't know what the hell to do with. The decks in question are 78 Tarot. They had a Kickstarter that I backed a little bit ago for what was supposed to be their fantasy decks, okay? Okay, they give you this little code, guidebook, QR code for the deck. which I don't like this either, by the way. Like, this is a stupid way to do a PDF. Why didn't you just send people the PDF? And it came with all these little extras, though. Let me show these. So it's like, these feel like stickers. So there's like stickers of some of the cards, some of the artists, some of the things that they did. For those who don't know too, oh, these are magnets. For those who don't know, 78 Tarot are a group of people who like to do collab decks. And maybe that's where I initially went wrong. I do like these bookmarks though. But maybe this is where I initially went wrong because I decided to back this. Even though I saw the cards. See, I saw these images on the cards and I was like, wow, this is beautiful. Yes, I'm here for this. These are like all prints. I was excited. I waited patiently in the mail for these decks I'm going to show to come. But let me tell you, unfortunately, I don't like to be this kind of person, but I need to point it out to you guys in case you were thinking of getting these decks to maybe not get them. And I'm going to explain why. The whole process of getting these two decks was a fucking nightmare in some ways. Because, so, first off, when they did the campaign or whatever for these two, by the way, I have both the minis, which probably was also my mistake, but you know me, I have smaller hands. I like to have smaller decks. There was issues trying to get these decks out to people because, well, first off, there was a process. We had to wait. And that's normally fine. But they were not honest with people about how much shipping they would have to pay. Okay. Especially because, by the way, so I got this, one of the things in the, one of the tiers in the Kickstarter was to get the two minis. Okay. So these are the two minis. These two minis, I'm going to preface it by saying this. These two minis cost $55. Okay. Two decks, $55. And that's not including the shipping that, ended up being more. So luckily I wasn't the worst offended in the sense that on top of $55, I had to pay $14 extra in shipping, even though, by the way, these cards claim that they shipped out from Virginia. So I'm thinking, okay, Virginia is in the US. I'm in the US. Why is it costing $14 for shipping? Something wasn't adding up, right? But if that's not bad enough, there were people commenting, by the way, in the Kickstarter campaign who got whammied, wherever the hell they are in the world, they got whammied with $30 worth of shipping, which is something that 78 Tarot did not tell people they were originally going to pay for shipping. So people were pissed, right? Because some banks bounced back. They were like, what the hell is happening? So that created a whole drama, okay? That's even before I get into the cards. So this is not the most, I would say, this did not seem like the most successful campaign, which is odd to me because 78 Tarot has been around a while. I've seen other people who have these decks. So I was like, what the hell is going on here? Okay. But then I got the cards. And I have to tell you, I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed, and I'm going to show you why I'm not impressed. So both of these minis come in these tuck boxes, okay? This is a tarot. This is the Fool's Items Oracle, okay? These are fantasy themed. These are These are collab decks. So each card is supposed to have a different artist, except I discovered that wasn't actually true. It seems like some of the artists might have dropped out or something because I was seeing a lot of repeat names in this. So it wasn't actually 78, interestingly enough. Okay, these are the Fool items. Okay, this is a tarot. And as soon as I touched these cards, I knew, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. You know why I say oh no? Because this is one of my hated cardstocks. This is garbage. The quality of these minis is absolute garbage. I'm sorry. I have to say it. I'm not usually, again, I don't like to be somebody who's like ranting and like being a shithead about cards, but this is literal garbage. For $55, I was scammed. And you know why? I'm going to show you. Okay. It looks like it's nice and shiny. You touch it, and this feels like the cheapest fucking cardstock they could have gotten at all. This is a card. This is the front. You can even tell by looking at the front. This, for those who are curious, is cereal box consistency cardstock. But even worse, this is like if someone was deciding to do their own cereal company on their own and they couldn't afford to get you anything else, so they got like the cheapest boxing available. This is what this feels like. This is garbage. For $55, you expect more than this, especially because, as we just saw with Los Scarabeo, they clearly found a way to have mini cardstock that didn't feel like trash. Okay. So cardstock alone, garbage. For this quality, garbage. I'm pissed. I'm actually pissed that I paid so much money. But here's where it also gets bad. Okay, I'm going to lower this a little. Bring this in a little. Okay, you guys won't be able to tell, but I'll try to show you. As I started going through these cards, I started to get really mad because, yeah, I hate the feel of them. They are awful. They feel cheap. And even if the images are nice, this completely destroys how I feel about these cards because it's awful, you know, it's not good quality. And here is where you can first see, not only, this is how you can tell this cardstock is cheap and garbage. See right there? I barely used I only flipped through this once. You can see there's a scratch right there. But this isn't even the worst card. You're going to see. I'm going to show you. This deck is filled, as I was flipping through it, with a lot of scratches. Yes, this deck has never been used, except me flipping it open, and you could clearly see, as I was flipping it, the scratches and dents and other jacked up bits that tell you this quality is garbage for its money. Okay? And I'm going to find them to show you because most of the cards are okay, but the cardstock again is not. And it became very apparent as I slowly went through the whole deck and was trying to see past the cardstock. I was like, these images are beautiful. I just need to get over it, right? I did it with the Seed and Sickle Oracle. I love that deck. Maybe I can get over it with this one. But it became very apparent when I saw those scratch cards that was not going to be the case because straight up, I just feel cheated, you know? I feel like I should have gotten a better quality than I did. And that makes me angry. By the way, these are extra cards. Oh, here it is. Now you guys can really see how fucked up these cards are. Look at this. Never been used. See these black lines? That shows you how garbage the quality of this deck is. This is one card, but this is not the only card. But this one was very obvious. You can see that this cardstock isn't good because it literally jacked up the image. Just in what? Transport? I don't know. So that's how you can tell this is literally garbage quality. It's not good at all. And this card made it apparent. This isn't the only one. But yeah, you can see the scratches. And I went through the deck and I paused. I looked at it and I was like, what in the world? Like I paid money for this. Like if I wanted all my cards to be scratched and awful on terrible cardstock, I don't know. I could have made my own tarot deck from a cardboard box. You know what I mean? It's disappointing and it's infuriating because the images, like I said, the images of these cards, these fantasy scenes are right up my alley. This Four Pentacles is great. This is how I see the Four Pentacles, actually. What I was thinking about for my own, who knows, one day, maybe a tarot deck. But I can't ignore how bad this cardstock is. Oh, you could even see it. There you go. When the light touches this one, you can see the scratches on this one, right? Bad cardstock. So it just made me, it disappointed me. Like, they raised so much money on this Kickstarter that they could have invested in much better mini cardstock than this. I know it exists, okay? I have a lot of mini decks. Those creators use good cardstock. Oh, you can see the scratching. I think it's, oh wait, no. I'm looking at it closer. No, not this one. But, like, oh, you can see here, though. See how it's scratched? Look at how fucked up that is. You can literally see the black caca. I don't know what that is. I'm sorry. I'm, like, really pissed off. It's just making all the words come out. But you know what I mean? I hadn't even used this deck. I just opened it, looked at the cards, and saw these, like, scratches on them. And it's like, if your cardstock was good, this shouldn't be happening. Especially, like, I don't know. Yes, I understand. You had to pay the artists that you reached out to make this deck. I get it. You had to pay them. But that doesn't mean you need to still sacrifice on quality for the people who are buying it. You know what I mean? Like, and it's jacked up. Like, you make people pay all this money. You charge them up the wazoo for shipping. And then they get the deck, and it's like this. Like, what in the world? You know what I mean? It's not... It just tainted it. Like, these cards, this image, this Knight of Swords is beautiful. But I can't think of it as beautiful if I have to touch these cards and have to deal with this terrible quality. Like, what would happen to this deck if I shuffled it? The cards are already scratched and jacked up. What, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, could I even use this deck? Would it be usable? Now, I can't tell you guys if this is the same issue that people have with not the minis, because they have a regular sized. But that cardstock, from what I saw, would have been cardstock I hated, because I think that cardstock is supposed to be glossy. And it's like, okay, so not only did you give terrible cardstock, like high gloss, I mean, let me specify that. Not only did you give terrible cardstock to your full size, but then you went with the cheapest, grossest cardstock for your mini, and it doesn't make sense. I don't know. So, yeah, I'm mad. I'm mad. To be brief, I'm mad because I should have loved this deck. I've been waiting for a deck that was like this in the sense of a lot of fantasy, a lot of high definition fantasy arts. So you can feel how awful it is, especially in this card for some reason. I don't know why. It's like really rough, almost sandpaper feeling, but it's also like cardboardy. It is so weird. I hate this cardstock. See, some of these images, you know, they are beautiful. It's just you've tainted it by not producing quality. Just straight up, you have not produced quality. And so it's a bummer because I don't know what to do about this deck now. I don't know if I should just send it into the void, see if anybody else wants it. But at the same time, I don't want to give it to somebody else because I know that the quality is awful. There's cards that are scratched. And on top of that, the stupid PDF QR code guidebook sends you a link to a Dropbox. So they Dropbox you this giant thing of the deck. Like the information about it, you know? PDF guidebook, but it's not PDF because they Dropbox it you. And so it's like, okay, I don't have money, not money, but I don't have space on my phone to put a whole Dropbox thing. Like, why didn't you just send people a PDF file of this guidebook? Like, not everybody has access to Dropbox. What the hell? I don't know. It seemed inefficient and a weird system. But yeah, so I guess those were the main cards that were scratched. Oh, this one you can see some scratches though. If I tilt it to the light, you can see the scratches there. So that's how you know this is shit. This is shit. And unfortunately, so this was the tarot. Unfortunately, it's not much better with the Fool's Item Oracle. Okay? Still same cardstock, still awful. And it's especially upsetting for this one because I was excited to have an oracle. I was excited to have an oracle that was fantasy item featured, you know, like goes into fantasy stuff, altar and amulet, you know, and like the meanings and deep diving you could have gone into. By the way, I think that, I can't tell, it feels like that's scratched. See, so it's like, it was also in this deck. The tarot was not the only one that had scratches, I think. But we're going to go through these and find out again because I only, like I said, I only did an initial flip through before I was just angry. But yeah, these images are beautiful, but it's the same thing. It's the same terrible cardstock. And it didn't do this justice, especially because like I was mainly excited too because this reminds me, I love D&D, okay? And this reminded me very much of like that kind of world. Could have been a cool tie-in. All these items are really interesting. There's interesting things you could have said about them. But I don't think I'll be using this now. Because how can I? You know what I mean? It's not good. And I feel like as soon as I use it, it's just going to scratch the cards. Because it's not good. Even though everything, look at this. This is beautiful. Art's beautiful. But it's not good. It's just not good quality. So if you were thinking about getting the minis of this deck, I would say do not. Do not waste your money. Don't do it. Okay? It's not good. Oh, Joanna Nelson is here, by the way. See, cute card, but like, you know, it's just not great. So yeah, I'm left disappointed and I'm left thinking, what am I supposed to do about this? The only silver lining I have with what's happened to both this tarot and this oracle, the only silver lining is that I do have a different deck that's coming in my collection that I pre-ordered that I know might actually fill this void that I was missing in my collection. The only downside with that deck that's going to come in is that it has a more limited color scheme, which is not always what I like, but I'm excited because the art on that one is stunning. But yeah, it's just, oh, I like this card. See what I mean? It's like, art is unquestionably beautiful. Like, these artists, I know, spent a lot of time creating these for this deck. It's just unfortunate that they have to have their name attached to something where the creators did not think to put in quality. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So I'm just left like kind of flabbergasted. I don't know. It looks like the oracle is fine. It doesn't have the same scratches. But even then, it's like, this is a sign though that if I did shuffle and use this deck, it would meet the same fate as the tarot. Because I can feel, especially on this, it feels rough and gross. This is not This is not good cardstock. This is awful. See, this is a beautiful staff card. It ruffles my feathers. It's just so bad that the quality doesn't compete well with the art, you know, or isn't, not competing, but you know what I mean. It's not, it doesn't live up to the quality of the art. So the 2 decks, they're going to be in my purgatory. I don't know what to do with them. I'm just pissed off at them, and I don't want them in my collection. Which is sad because, again, the art's beautiful, which is why, I'll be honest, if I was going to rehome these, I would still probably keep this because I do like again, I like the art. I like the art that the artist created. I just don't think that 78 Tarot did the best job they could in making sure they were giving people quality. I think a lot of people like me who get this mini are not going to be happy, especially if their decks also come to them scratched up before they were even able to use the deck. Okay. I don't think, I can't even say again what the full size is going to be like, but I can't imagine it's going to be much better quality if they put so little into this, you know? So that's disappointing. And yeah, I ranted way too long about both of these, but it needed to be said because it was not good. So I got to get rid of those, and I'll think about how, but it's just sad when you feel like you actually wasted money on a tarot deck. Normally, I don't think that way. I'm very picky about what comes into my collection most of the time. So this is very disappointing. And it'll definitely make me wary now about backing Kickstarter decks, because if they're going to be like this, I don't want to back them. I really don't. I'm going to be doing a lot less of that. Yeah. Anyways, I'm going to head out now, but if you also have disappointing decks you want to talk about, I guess you can tag me. I just put this video as a way to talk about decks that I'm just pissed off at and I want them gone. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and bye.